President Donald Trump has reportedly signed a sweeping military directive authorizing the use of U.S. armed forces against Latin American drug cartels, framing the move as a declaration of war on organizations he accuses of poisoning America with fentanyl, heroin, methamphetamine, and other illicit drugs. The announcement, which echoes Trump's long-standing campaign rhetoric on border security and narcotics, promises aggressive actions including naval embargoes, special forces operations, and cyber warfare to dismantle cartel operations. The drug cartels are waging war on America, and it's now time to wage war on the cartels, Trump declared in a statement released today. He highlighted the human toll, noting that fentanyl, heroin, meth, and other lethal drugs are pouring across our wide-open border, stealing hundreds of thousands of beautiful American lives. The president described the crisis as an internal poisoning of the nation, exacerbated by associated crimes like human trafficking. The directive outlines a multifaceted strategy to combat the cartels, which Trump has pledged to designate as foreign terrorist organizations, a step that would enable broader legal tools for disruption. Key elements include deploying all necessary military assets, including the U.S. Navy, to impose a full naval embargo on cartel activities in the Western Hemisphere. We will guarantee the waters of the Western Hemisphere are not used to traffic illicit drugs into our country, Trump stated. Ordering the Department of Defense to utilize special forces, cyber warfare, and other overt and covert actions to inflict maximum damage on cartel leadership, infrastructure, and operations. Severing the cartel's access to global financial systems through sanctions and asset freezes. Forging unprecedented partnerships with neighboring governments, particularly Mexico, to curb the menace. Trump emphasized, "We have to help Mexico, and we have to stymie the cartels. Either we will get the full cooperation of other governments to stop this menace, or we will expose every bribe, every kickback, every payoff, and every bit of corruption allowing the cartels to preserve their brutal reign." Pushing for congressional legislation to ensure drug smugglers and human traffickers face the death penalty. The drug kingpins and vicious traffickers will never sleep soundly again, he warned. White House officials confirmed the signing of the directive, but provided few operational details, citing national security concerns. The move builds on Trump's earlier executive actions to strengthen border security and follows reports of escalating cartel violence, including the influx of synthetic opioids like fentanyl, which the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention linked to over 100,000 overdose deaths annually in the U.S. Reactions have been swift and polarized. Supporters, including Republican lawmakers and border state governors, hailed the directive as a decisive step toward reclaiming control. Finally, a president willing to treat this like the invasion it is, said Texas Governor Greg Abbott in a statement. Critics, however, warn of potential diplomatic fallout and escalation risks. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum reiterated her opposition to U.S. military intervention on Mexican soil, calling it unacceptable, and urging bilateral cooperation instead. Legal experts question the directive's scope, noting that while designating cartels as terrorists provides some authority under the Authorization for Use of Military Force, AUMF, unilateral strikes abroad could invite challenges under international law or require congressional approval. This risks turning a law enforcement issue into a full-blown military conflict, said Miriam Gonzalez, a foreign policy analyst at the Council on Foreign Relations. The Pentagon has not commented on specific timelines or targets, but sources indicate initial focus may be on major players like Mexico's Sinaloa and Jalisco New Generation cartels, as well as Venezuelan groups like Tren de Aragua. As the administration pushes forward, Trump vowed no mercy in pursuing the policy, signaling a dramatic shift in U.S. anti-drug strategy. More details are expected as the Department of Defense briefs congressional leaders in the coming days. The White House has scheduled a press briefing for Monday to address questions on the initiative.